Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Eric back again with Classic Cards for another video in our Unorthodox Box series. Here today we have a 1987 box of Topps Major League Leaders. They're also called Topps Mini Leaders because the cards are a little smaller. So here's the box, 1987, 36 packs in this small box, slightly smaller than a normal box. As you can see, it says shown actual size. That's the card there. Here is the packs, and here's a normal 1987 Topps card, and you can see it is much smaller. Normal card being 2.5 by 3.5, something like that. And this is 2 1/8 by 3. So that is definitely different there. A little smaller, kind of cool. What's interesting about this is there is 7 cards per pack, and with 36 packs in a box, you will most likely get at least one of full set of the 77. So it's a 77 card full set. We'll kind of dig out our packs here and set them off to the side. So 36 packs, 77 cards in the set. Interesting note on here is 11 of these cards were double printed. I have a list here, so basically it just seems like, you know, they printed more of those cards, and so we might be seeing a little more of those cards. So Gary Gaetti is one of those double printed cards. Here they are. You can see they still have that similar wood grain to the 1987, but kind of carry that League Leaders cards. And these are on the super glossy white card stock, so almost that, you know, Topps Tiffany type card stock. So Gary Gaetti, Jack Morris, Alan Trammell, another one of the double printed ones. And then you get these Spring Fevers, which was a sweepstakes to win a trip to, looks like, spring training camp of a team of your choice back in 1988. So that's a little expired. Fred Humans, Bill Duran, Sid Fernandez, and Dave Smith. Again, here's the back of the cards. Pretty cool design there. Major League Leaders. Kind of interesting. Has the stats there. Shows highlighted stats over here for pitchers, strikeouts, shutouts, saves. So pretty cool. Let's just go through this box kind of together and experience these quote-unquote oddballs, although a card is a card, as John Mangini would say.
A card is a card.
1987 mini leader. So Bob Ojeda, there's Don Haas, Tony Gwynn, nice Tony Gwynn, super glossy, Vince Coleman, Tony Fernandez, Tom Candiotti, and Pete O'Brien. So if you're looking for any rookie cards or anything like that, you're not going to find them in here, at least based on the checklist that I looked at. So Lee Smith, Gary Carter, Ron Darling. But that makes sense because these are the Major League Leaders, although I guess you could lead on, when you're a rookie. Bob Horner, just ask Pete Alonso. There's George Bell, Bob Horner, Gary Pettis. Okay, cool. So I will be looking to put this little set together just because it's so small. Be fun little thing to put together. Mark Langston, Ricky Henderson, sweet Ricky, Jesse Barfield. There's another one of these. Don Mattingly, hey Don Mattingly, sweet. Bob Horner again, Steve Bedrosian, and Kirk Gibson. Kirk Gibson, another one of those double printed cards. So I guess I'll kind of put the double printed cards on this off to the side just to kind of show you guys at the end which ones are more popular. So none of those. Just as we go along, and I'll wrap it up at the end so you can see all 11 double printed cards. On the checklist, those would be indicated with a DP, double print. Fernando Valenzuela, Mike Witt, Gary Gaetti again. So you can definitely tell some of the ones that are double printed because we're going to be seeing them a lot more, like Kirk Gibson, Gary Gaetti. Very vibrant packs here. The vibrant yellow. Almost expect some type of 91 Fleer or something to come out of here. Gary Carter's another double printed card. Spring Fever again. Mario Duncan. Darryl Strawberry. Steve Sachs. That's a double printed card. And Dave Kingman. So these are pretty sweet. I personally have not opened a box or a single pack of these before, so this is fun getting to do it with you guys first time. Myself, Dale Murphy, Glenn Davis, yep, that's another double printed card. Bob Nepper, that's another double printed card. Wade Boggs, here you go, Wade Boggs, I haven't seen that one, we'll set him off to the side. Steve Sachs, Dave Parker, Von Hayes. Von Hayes is another double printed card. So you could tell they really extra printed those ones. Joe Carter, Candy Maldonado, and a Dave Righetti. There's Todd Worrell, Rob Deere, Von Hayes, and Gary Pettis. One stack down, another Kirk Gibson. Hey, there's a Cal Ripken, sweet Cal Ripken Jr. Haven't seen that one. Tom Henke. Another Don Mattingly, although Don Mattingly is not one of the ones they printed extras of. Kirk Gibson. Moving on to our second stack here. Doesn't look like these were sealed all too well, but you know, back in 1987, maybe Topps was doing something different. I mean, these aren't wax, so they obviously had to do maybe some kind of different sticky chemical or whatever, but they are still cool. It's even nicer because nothing sticks. It's still stuck closed, but you could just rip it open just like that. Very easy to open, more of a cello pack than anything. Bob Nepper, I already think I put him in the duplicate pile. Keith Hernandez, another Spring Fever. Juan Samuel, Jeff Reardon, and a Kirk Gibson again, and Dennis Rasmussen. So, still going along here. I don't think we've seen every card yet in the set. Pat Tabler, Eric Davis, some new ones there, just as I was saying that. Mariano Duncan, there's a Darryl Strawberry again. Steve Sachs, Dave Kingman, Von Hayes again on the back there. Willie Hernandez, George Brett, cool George Barrett, another Wade Boggs, Steve Sachs, Dave Parker, Von Hayes. So it looks like what they did to stretch out the release, maybe make a couple more boxes, was basically double print 11 of the cards and throw them in every now and then with some of the other ones. I don't understand why you couldn't just fill the set up, maybe say make it a 100 card set and produce them equally. Maybe they couldn't find 100 major league leaders. I know in 1986, which we will be doing a box of these eventually for Unorthodox Box, that's a 66 card set. So they increased from 66 to 77, from 86 to 87. Willie Wilson, there's Kirby Puckett. Mike Scott looking like he's going to throw a 20-mile-an-hour ball right there. I'm not sure what he's doing. Teddy. Still some new ones. Here's a Tony Gwynn again. Lee Smith, Gary Carter, Roger Clemens, so that's a cool one. Jim Rice, Eddie Murray, and Oral Hershiser. So still getting through some cards to fill out the set. Not everything has been a duplicate yet, but I'm sure we're getting there sometime. Ron Darling, Mark Langston, Ricky Henderson, Mike Krukow, Bruce Hurst, Bill Duran, Kevin Bass. I always wonder on sets like this, you know, obviously 11 of the cards were printed extra. I always wonder which card out of the set, out of all the cards, was printed the least. And wonder why that was. You know, maybe something happened on the sheet with that card or something in the factory that day. Maybe there's only a couple less of them, but what's the hardest card to find basically in here? Probably nothing, I'd imagine, just because there's so many packs with so many cards in it. There's Wally Joyner, George Bell, Bob Horner. Another pack. Tony Gwynn, Lee Smith, all these duplicates. So that was a full duplicate pack. Let's see if we can get any new ones. This small 77 card set. Don Mattingly. Those are all duplicates. We might have hit all 77 at this point, which is cool. We're still opening packs. Rigetti, there's a Ripken again. Danny Cox, I don't know if we gotten that one. Juan Samuel. I think we still probably have a few more, I would imagine. Oh, okay, so we definitely have one more. I mean, there's a checklist. Definitely hadn't gotten that one yet. Know that for sure right off the bat. That would just suck as a kid, getting a 7-card pack and one of them is a checklist. Sure didn't like that, but this is one of the rare times where you can see the whole set on one checklist. So luckily you're not going to get more than one checklist, as far as, you know, more than one different checklist. Some sets have 3, 4, 5 checklists. There's a Jose Canseco. We have not seen him yet, I know that for sure. Mike Schmidt. Okay, so a couple different ones. Alright, knew we wanted to do the whole box just in case we didn't, you know, there was a couple we didn't see here and there. Feel free to skip ahead, Rick Roden, through some of the duplicates if you aren't interested. But in the meantime, we'll be here opening packs, chatting, looking at the cards, looking at the designs. I'm not sure why the 87 normal top set was printed on the stock that they did. This stock is just so much nicer. The back, you could read it. That glossy front, just like the Tiffany. Way, way better. As you can see on the back of this one, it's just much, much darker. Very dark. So Eric Davis, that might be a new one. Clemens, Rice, Murray, Hershiser. I'm sure back in the day when you're a kid, all you pack searchers out there, as a kid, come on, we all did this. If they're gonna let us see through the pack, at least, you know, one card, we're gonna do it and pick the one that we want. So as a kid, of course, you always look for your favorite player if you can find him. Bill Bradley, and that's the pack that you would pick. Awesome kid logic. But that's what it's all about. That's what it is all about, having fun, trying to get what you want, trying to get some of the chase cards. This box and this set is more of just a fun break out of the norm. That's what we're all about here on Unorthodox Box series, at least. If you are one of the ones who are appreciate more normal releases and sets, maybe check out our Box Bonanza series or Retail Roundup. Fernando Valenzuela. So it looks like Mike Scott again. We might have done it in the last stack here. Of course, afterwards, when I go and put them all together, I will be able to see if any are missing that we didn't get. I'm thinking we hit most all of them, and definitely the double printed cards. Definitely the Spring Fever inserts. We've seen a couple of those. Dave Smith. So if you're wondering, you can get a box of these for pretty cheap, for like $5 or $10, no problem. So, So at least if you see them out there on the interwebs, at an antique shop, flea market, swap meet. You know what to expect, and if you like it, you can get it. You know what's in there now. So last pack, see if we can get any new ones. There's our checklist again. Jose Canseco again. So not bad. Mike Schmidt. And there it is. So we have a nice big stack of these mini wood grain cards. Here's some cool names that we got out. Wade Boggs, Cal Ripken, Don Mattingly, Jose Canseco. There's a ton of others in here, as you saw. And the double printed cards. Let's see, how many do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 3 others that I missed. Let's see who we have. Burt Blyleven, Vaughn Hayes, Bob Nepper, Glenn Davis, Steve Sachs, Gary Carter, Bob Horner, and Kirk Gibson. So let's see. Bob Horner, we have Bob Horner. Glenn Davis, we have Glenn Davis. Bill Duran, we saw him in here, is also a duplicate. Bob Nepper I threw in here. Steve Sachs is in here. As well as Gary Carter, Vaughn Hayes, Kirk Gibson. And the other 2, I know we saw a bunch in here, are Gary Gaetti and Alan Trammell. So those are the top 11 most common cards in this set, as they were double printed. So I hope you guys enjoyed this fun, quick box of Unorthodox Box of 1987 Topps Major League Leaders, or 1987 Topps Mini Leaders. As always, keep collecting, care about the cards, care about each other, and we will catch you next time here on Classic Cards. Have a great one, everybody. Thanks.